Okay.
So I saw a great little podcast this morning. I thought, how am I going to work it into this chat with you today? But it said, in life you've got 3 things: time, wealth, and health.
Yes.
Did you see this thing? It's brilliant. And when you're young, you've got all the time in the world to play and adventure and things, but you have no wealth, and you probably have very good health as a kid. Then you get to 30s and 40s, and you've got no time. You're working, like you guys, you're working your asses off,
of course,
building businesses, and your health's probably good, and you've made a lot of wealth, but you've got no time. You've got wealth, your health is probably good, but you've got no time. You're just going business, work hard, and don't see your family. Then you get a bit madala, a bit older, and you've got time comes back. You've got a lot of time in your hands. You've got a lot of wealth, but your health starts to go.
Oh.
So how do you coordinate all those 3 things?
Jeez.
And everyone says the purpose of life is to be happy. Well, I disagree with that, because you can't be happy all the time. You can't, can you?
No, you can't.
But moments of happiness, adventure. So what, you asked me a question I haven't answered yet. What keeps me going? It's been different phases through my life. And then you find something that drives you. So I've got a few new businesses that really excite me. I've got one thing that I haven't announced yet, but maybe
we'll get into it. Yeah.
Get into that. But I came back to South Africa. I lived 31 years overseas, okay? Built businesses, lived in America, lived in Europe, lived in the UK. And then I just decided one day I want to come home.
Why did you leave in the first place?
To see the world. I didn't want to go straight into the family business. I wanted to go and, see the world, get experiences and learn stuff. And I went to America, got a job at Goldman Sachs, then at Harvard Business School. Then Rupert Murdoch hired me, the guy that owns Fox News, as his right-hand man.
Damn.
Yeah. And he's worth, $20 billion now.
Yeah.
He's still working.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. And I had the most amazing experiences overseas. And I kept thinking, want to come home. But then something amazing happened to me. I got married to an American, blah, blah, blah. But in 2017, with my second wife, Katie, I woke up one morning and I said, I just miss South Africa too much. Because we're coming back on holiday, and she loved it here. Yeah. And she said, well, why don't we go? Because my 2 older sons were at university. They were doing their own thing. Little kids, you could move. My parents alive in South Africa. The family name's still pretty well known. And I just said, I want to come home. I want to come home. And she said, well, it has to be Cape Town. I said, all right, Cape Town. So I'm from here.
Yeah.
And we came home, and I'm not leaving. When I came back, I said to her, we're only going to be in South Africa 3 years. She said, why? I said, because Zuma's going to fuck the country up.
Yeah.
I mean, the country's in a nosedive, and he's not going to save it. We've got about 3 years left before the place just collapses. There's going to be civil unrest, economic collapse. So we came back with 1 foot still there. And then Cyril got elected, and she said, well, what does that mean? I said, well, we've just kicked the can down the road. It's the crap. Problems are still going to happen, which they're happening now. And she woke up one morning after being here 2 years, and she just was reading something like, load shedding or some disaster. And she said, fuck, this country's so amazing. And then she looked at me and said, why don't you do something about it? And I said, okay, I will. And that's when I started telling the truth, just saying, I've had enough. Enough's enough. And that's my calling. That's what gets me up in the morning.
Yeah. But didn't you put Cyril in his seat? Didn't you have a part to play in it?
No. Me? No.
I've seen a picture with you next to one of the presidents, or former presidents, I think. Or was it next to Julius?
Next to Julius. Okay. Now, bang, let's bring this up.
Okay.
There's a picture online, one picture. Me in a nice grey suit.
Yeah.
I don't know where that suit's gone. Throw it away.
Yeah.
Lord Robin Rennick, who was the British ambassador to South Africa when Nelson Mandela was released, and Julius Malema.
Yeah.
And the pictures of Julius.
Fat Julius.
Fat Julius.
He wasn't fat then. And here's what happened. I'm actually glad to explain that, because people go, oh, I'm Julius's handler and everything's like, what bullshit. I own a business called Invest Africa. It's a 14-year-old business based out of London, and it's a business that sensibly evangelizes investment in Africa. Okay? So we go around Africa and we say, this is a good country to invest, this is a good sector, telecom or whatever. And what we do is we host lunches and dinners and events, and we invite all interesting people in Africa.
Okay.
And we let the audience make up their mind.
Yeah.
So we don't say, this is a good guy, this is a bad guy, this is a good woman, a bad woman. We say, here's Julius Malema. We've organized a lunch with him. And then we let Julius speak, and we let people ask him questions. They make up, that's that business. And his first day ever, we had him organized for a lunch in London. And I was sitting next to him, and there was a photograph.
What do you mean organized? So you brought him out there?
No, somebody called me, a South African guy who was quite keen. He said, Julius Malema is coming to London. This is 8-9 years ago.
Okay.
Would you guys in West Africa host a lunch for him? I said, I'd love to. So we hosted a lunch, and I had, some really hardcore kind of British investors and Tories around the table. There were like 16 people around the table. And obviously I was the host, sat next to him. And he was quite interesting because I said, where's your red beret? He said, no, I'm not wearing it. Quite clever, because he was at a British investment lunch, city people. And he said, no, I'm not wearing it. It was quite clever of him. And he was wearing a nice suit. And, it was like wolves around the table wanting to eat him. This is an evil enemy, But after 10 minutes of him talking, people started nodding their heads.
Whoa.
They're agreeing with him on 80%, other than nationalizing banks, land and mines, which is just fucking stupid. It's for commies. And communism doesn't work, we know that. Other than that, pretty much everything he said made sense. He said, BEE is going to be a disaster because all it's going to do is make the elite rich and impoverish the poor, which is what has happened. And he said, instead of that, you should give a 13th check to your employees or give them the equity. Give your employees the equity. And he was right. That would have been a much better opportunity to push wealth to ordinary people.
But can you see why people would say Julius is captured by you, though?
No, one photograph. I've never seen him since. I've never spoken to him since then.
Since then?
No, never.
Yeah?
And not Cyril either. Once I spoke to Cyril because I was calling Johan Rupert on something and he patched Cyril in. It was like for 5 minutes on something. That's about 4 years ago. That was it.
Yeah.
And I haven't seen Cyril either since then.
So how are you with Julius right now?
I've never met him. I haven't seen him since London.
That's
ever.
crazy. That's crazy. You didn't exchange numbers, nothing.
We didn't exchange. I don't think we had mobile phones. Yeah, we did actually. Yeah. No, we didn't exchange numbers.
You'd like to have a conversation with him?
I'd like to have a conversation with him. I'd like to have a meal with Zuma. Yeah, for sure. I want to know why they say what they say and think what they think. And I think Julius is an opportunist. I don't think he believes in anything he's really saying. But he just takes that position because it's the only position left on the political spectrum. The EFF will destroy this country faster than even the communists. But he's never going to get in power. So,
how do you know that?
Because the average South African is not stupid. The average South African is a church-going, conservative, good person that wants the same thing that everyone else wants. A better life for their children, an opportunity to get a job and have dignity, bring home the bacon for their family. And they don't want the chaos and disruption they know the EFF will bring. They know it. He's not going to get more than 12% of this country ever.
You say the average South African is not stupid, and I agree with you, but, we keep doing the same thing over and over, voting for the ANC.
Not anymore. 2024, they're out. 100%. The ANC is destroying itself. A number of people that I look up to have said to me, Rob, stop saying ANC footsack. They're eating themselves alive. You don't even need to push them over the edge. The ANC, anyone who said the ANC didn't love this country is lying. They love this country dearly. But this government doesn't. And we need to get rid of those madalas. By the way, I'm the same age as most of them. No, 2024, it's a new world.
Before we get into the ANC, where did it go wrong with you and Cyril? Because it seems like...
I don't know Cyril.
Yeah.
I gave 250,000 Rand to a school's charity 6 or 7 years ago. I never got a thank you, but that's fine, whatever. At least it went to a good cause. And I went to a speech of his in London where he was so boring. After 40 minutes, I got up and walked out. There were like 100 people in the room, black tie, and I walked out. People were like, how rude is that? I said, well, I'm not listening to someone who's not going to tell me anything interesting. So I don't know Cyril.
I don't know, man. I don't believe that. You know what it sounds to me like?
He's a billionaire, you're a billionaire, you've called him an idiot in public.
I've only lived here for 6 years. I've only been back for 6 years.
You know what it sounds like to me? It sounds like...
Millionaires don't hang out together all the time.
I know, but he can easily call you. He was patched in a call with Johan Rupert, you had said.
I know, but that was on, I can't even remember what it was on. It was it was a non-issue. It was like, let me check with Cyril. And Johan was like, dialed him in. And seriously.
Yeah.
Cyril, when last did you see me? You won't even remember.
Because my thing is, it sounds like they were like, Cyril, we'll get you presidency, but you must give us anal. And then they got him presidency. And then now he's like, hey, I'm not sure if I want to do this. I don't usually do this.
Hey,
maybe
get more lubricant.
Yeah, get more lubricant.
Here's the problem. No, you're right.
You know what I'm saying?
You're right. You're right. here's the problem, okay? And it's also going to be Paul Mashatile's problem and a lot of the politicians' problems is they promise everything to everyone. Okay? So Cyril meets with these business people, okay? And I know there's a lot of behind-the-scenes meetings. I don't get invited to them, okay? But he meets with these business people, and he goes, listen, I've got this under control. I know you're worried about it, but we're going to do this, that. And then there's nothing. Then he talks to the communists, and he says, then he says to Gwede, Eskom 2.0, it's not a bad idea. Remember him saying that? I mean, why didn't he be honest and say, it's a stupid idea, Gwede? Even Gwede, I think, knows it's a stupid idea, but he has to say it because he's a communist. And Cyril's promised everything to everyone, and he can't deliver anything to anyone. That's the problem.
But, I mean, I think it's a bit unfair to say he's an idiot because he's just the head of a huge organization which has so many moving parts. He can't even control all of them. Everybody there is stealing and thieving.
100% correct.
How does he control it?
I know, but then he shouldn't say to us in 2015, we've put a plan in place to fix Eskom. He's just admitted, well, I thought we had a plan in place. I mean, come on, guys. They're just politicians. And actually, it doesn't only apply to the ANC. I'm a bit pissed off with pretty much every political party today. I got on the phone with a friend of mine. I'll mention his name. Saul Goldstein, super smart.
Oh, yeah.
Tech billionaire, lives in Joburg. He cares about this country. Cares about this country. And I called him up and he just ranted at me. He just said, I'm so angry with every single political party. They're just fucking this thing up. I don't want to give them any money anymore. And he said a very smart thing. He said, I'm sick of these different colors of all these political parties. The only color I care about is the South African flag. I want South Africa to be a better place. And that's what I want. I'm not anymore. I'm DA, but I'm not anymore saying you must vote DA or Action SA or VF Plus or COPE or Inkatha. I'm saying vote for change because we've got to get change, guys. Vote for change, pick whoever you want, and they've got to work together. They've got to work together.
I was telling Saul on the show the other day, I was like, I feel like the whole political structure is archaic. I don't understand how a minority can make decisions for majority, right? And we live, you know what I mean? And we live in a space where there's so much technology. Why can't we advance that? Like how crypto changed the financial sector.
Okay, I'm going to tell you, you've nailed it, okay?
Yeah?
I'm just getting the hair on my neck going up.
For real?
Yeah. Yesterday, I launched newsouthafrica.org. Okay, you can fill in your name there.
Yeah.
Okay, and I'll try and explain this. I tried to explain to my dad last night. He's like, okay, you're really out there. Blockchain.
Yeah.
Most people don't understand what it is.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
So in the old days, you had a ledger which you filled in. I'm selling you this at this price, you and I signed it.
Yes.
Piece of paper. Then it became a computer thing. Then Price Waterhouse, accountancy, but there was always one ledger, whether it was analog or digital. The blockchain is a distributed ledger. So if I sell you something in cyberspace, it's a block.
Yeah.
And then the next block in the chain confirms that. And that's irrevocable, irreversible. You can never go back. That's the blockchain. So what? But cryptocurrency doesn't exist without the blockchain. Because I sell you crypto, we're never going to touch it. It doesn't exist.
It's in the air.
Yeah, it's in the air, Bitcoin. But if I sell it to you, I want to know that I've sold it to you. You've paid for it. You want to know it's real. You've received it. Blockchain. There are millions, and it's a distributed ledger. Okay, can never be refuted. So,
and it's fair game for everybody. It's not just the elite. Anybody.
Bingo. So you got the blockchain, and one of the manifestations, or one of the uses, is cryptocurrency. Another one is this thing called an NFT. You know an NFT?
Yeah.
Non-fungible token. Let's say you make a digital picture, and it's an original, and I copy it. Who can prove who did it? But if it's an NFT on the blockchain, you can prove that that picture you did is yours. That's it. It's a digital certificate of ownership, okay? Third manifestation of blockchain. Oh, I'm not losing anyone.
No, I'm still with you.
Is a DAO, D-A-O,
Yeah.
decentralized autonomous organization. Let's say you had a company in the world where you had 100 employees that never met each other and never will, but everyone knew what they had to do automatically. So if you sell a widget of widget company, we pay you the commission, everything's automated.
100%.
So if you have blockchain, crypto, NFT, and DAOs, I suddenly said, why don't we create a whole new country?
Danko.
newsouthafrica.org.
Yeah.
So I wrote these 15 principles, which are, everything's based on merit. You know, if you're better at the job than me, you get the job.
That's it.
Bang. Non-racialism. I don't care whether you're gay, straight, tall, short,
Yes.
fat, green, pink, white. I don't care. If you're the right person, you do it. And it's non-racialism, it's sort of libertarian, and it's automated. Okay, this world is a world of people that trust each other, they do good, and if somebody puts their hand up and needs help, and you can help them, you help them for nothing in return, unless there's a cost to the help. So this is this utopia. People go, Rob, you know, it's unrealistic. But with technology, it's not.
You know what I'm saying? So, it's what
So
I've been saying, bro.
we could create a whole new South Africa, and now I'm going to go right off the edge. You ready? How long does it take you to get a visa at Home Affairs?
A long time.
A long time.
Very
You
long
stand in line and da. What if we built this new world of trust, where we all endorse and trust each other, okay? It's not impossible, and we all subscribe to the same values, and we printed our own passport. So we had I'm thinking of an NFT holographic passport.
Type
You can have
5,
an
yeah.
avatar or your picture, but we know who you are, okay? We then go to New Zealand, Rwanda, Switzerland, UK, wherever, and we say, I know you're a bit uncertain about South Africans getting visas, but here are our 5 million members of this new tribe. Won't you give us visas to come to your country? And I guarantee some countries will, because they know exactly who we are, every single person. We print our own visas, our own passports, we have our own bank, our own currency. We could even buy the Free State.
I thought it was a free state.
well, whatever. Yeah.
So how do we
we
implement?
keep it free.
How do we implement that?
So, fill out newsouthafrica.org and help me build it.
Yeah,
help me
I'm
build
on
it.
the website now.
Yeah.
Do you want to do that?
Jeez, man.
We're not going to have a president. We don't need a president.
Yeah.
You know, because we don't need a minister of energy or mining, because there are going to be 1,000 mining experts, 1,000 energy experts in our family, and they're going to help make the right things happen.
I think I need to understand it a bit more,
By the way,
but
it's
you're on
not
the right
gin-
track.
It's not the gin speaking.
You get what I'm saying? Because like what I'm saying is that we need to do away with this political system. If we get if in power, then Julius people are going to eat. DA, same thing. Action SA, same thing. So we need to start thinking the way you're thinking.
I'm pissed off with all of them today.
Yeah.
All of them. And they're just fighting amongst themselves, you know. Imagine if we could pick who governed this country. Forget a government, we want governance. And we had to pick who's the best person in mining. Like, who's the best person in energy. And forget what party they are, forget about whatever they are. Isn't that the way to do it?
Yeah. So how does this thing of yours work? How can people...
So we're going to build it.
Okay.
Okay? And what I love people to do is go on the web and have a look at newsouthafrica.org. And if they're interested in hearing more, put in your email address. That's it.